Hello there guys, welcome back to the channel. Got another review for you today, and this time we're taking a look at the Transformers Studio Series 86 Deluxe Class Brawn. So we're just going to take a quick look at the packaging and then I'll show you the fig. So this is the packaging. It's just your standard sort of Studio Series plastic free packaging. As you can see, you get a nice graphic there of Brawn on the front. This is figure number 22 in the wave. Top of the box, you just get the Transformers, the movie logo. Down the bottom is all the legal stuff, as you'd expect. On this side, we just get a blown up image of that same graphic, and then the Studio Series branding, Deluxe Class. Round to this side, you get a little cutout for the Autobot insignia, which is on this. So that just lines up in there. And then we get the Transformers authentic stamp of approval. Round to the back, we get a nice promo shot there of Brawn in his alt mode and in his bot mode, and it transforms in 23 steps. That's just a little summary of the backdrop that's included. It is the same backdrop that was in the Ironhide and Prowl 2-pack, so it's the shuttle ambush. And there's just a brief little description there of what's going on. As we know, it's everybody's favourite scene from that film, childhood trauma. So here's the figure. As you can see, they've done a really good job with this guy actually. The paintwork is excellent, and sculpting is really well done. Comes with one accessory, which is his little blaster pistol. And you can store this on the back if you don't want it equipped. Just tabs into this little spare tyre that we've got on here, and that is the same storage for the alt mode as well. It just goes on there. You can remove this little spare wheel, and you can have him holding that if you want to. There's not a lot else you can do with it really. Yeah, it's just sort of removable for that reason only, really. So here's the paintwork. As you can see, we get that nice metallic silver paint on the face, and then a slightly darker shade of grey there for the helmet, and then he's got those light blue painted eyes, as we've seen on some of the other Autobot figs. We get this sort of mustard yellow colour for the chest piece, and then the backpack section there, and then the brightly red painted Autobot insignia on his chest. This piece is actually moulded out of the green plastic, and then they just paint over the top of it. As you can see here, there's a little bit of seepage in these little grooves, but it's not too bad. And then that's just where it's worn away from transformation, sadly. Spinning around to the arms, you get the metallic silver there on the arms. Yeah, they look quite cool. It sort of looks like he's wearing little gauntlets, ready for some melee combat, which is fairly interesting. And then, as you just saw then, we've got some more of that light blue cell-shaded type effect going on for the windows. And there is another red painted Autobot insignia on the hood section of the alt mode. Get a little bit more metallic silver for the knees. This is just molded plastic, it's not painted or anything. And there's not a lot going on with the legs, to be honest, in terms of paint. It's all pretty uniform really. And then round to the back, that's just where the wheels get stored for the alt mode. So yeah, that's the paint. Now we'll have a look at the articulation. So the head on this one is on a swivel. It's not on a ball joint, sadly. It is quite a tight swivel. One thing I've found that can be quite helpful is if you bring this section forward, it just gives you a little bit better access to turn it. So yeah, that's definitely something worth mentioning. His shoulders are on ball joints, so they'll go out to there, and they'll also go all the way around. You get a bicep swivel just there, And the wrists are on these hinges basically for transformation, so they'll go into there, but they won't rotate or anything, which is a bit of a shame. You also get this little joint here on the shoulder, which again is for transformation, but you can utilize it a little bit for the bot mode articulation if you want to. The waist is on a swivel, so if you maneuver everything out of the way, you can get it to go all the way around. It will do a full 360. The hips are on hinges, so you can get a full splits out of them, as so. And you can also kick up to there. You can kick back to there, but then the backpack section's on a double hinge, so you can hinge it out of the way like that. And if you do that, you can get him to kick all the way back there, so that's quite good. The thighs are on a swivel. There's a just under 90-degree bend at the knee. This piece is sort of colliding with it now, so it stops it going the full 90. And then down to the feet, there's an ankle rocker which goes all the way out like that, which is nice. And then you get toe articulation and heel articulation, because these two fold up for transformation. So that's that. Just going to do a little comparison to some of the other figs that I've got, and we'll jump into the transformation after that. So here he is with the Studio Series 86. Technically it's a leader class figure, but it is actually just a Voyager scale. This is the Coronation Starscream. So stay locked to the channel to see the review of this guy. And then we have another deluxe class that sort of fits with this theme, although this is a Legacy Evolution figure, and this is the Origin Jazz. So as you can see, they scale quite nicely actually. Jazz was just a little bit taller. So that's just a little figure comparison there. I'll also do an alt mode comparison later on. So yeah, let's get him into alt mode. So first step for transformation, you want to take this chest piece and you want to turn the head so that it's facing backwards. You can leave it exposed. As I said in the Prowl review, you know, it's sort of that kind of same scenario where if you want the head exposed on the underside, you can just leave it. But for this review, I'm gonna transform him properly. And then you want to take this section here and just rotate this out. And that's going to form the front section of the alt mode. And then you can just fold this back in like that, and that's just going to tuck under there quite nicely. Then you want to come to the backpack and just extend this out on a double, it's on a double hinge, so you just extend it all out like that to get it out of the way, gives us plenty of clearance. And then take the waist and rotate so the front is facing the back. And then you can come to the arms. You want to turn it at the bicep, swivel, and then you can fold the hands in. Do the same thing on the other side. As you can see, on this side we've got the little slots, and then on this side we've got the tabs, so they're going to connect together in a moment. So just make sure you've done that on both sides. Hands are tucked in. Then we can come to this little joint here, which is going to swivel down all the way to there. Same thing on the other side, swivel it round all the way to there. And then what you can do is just rotate at the shoulders, make sure that joint stays nice and flush like so, and just make sure the hands are pointing downwards. So you should have something that looks like that. And then this section here is just on a hinge joint, so we can just hinge all of this up and into there, and that's going to form the front windows for the alt mode. So do the same thing on the other side, hinge this section up and fold it into there. And then you can come to the hands, and as you can see there's a tab slot connection there, so we're just going to go ahead and connect those two up. Then you can come to the legs, and specifically the feet, just fold up the heel and the toe section so it's just pointed downwards like that. Do the same thing on the other foot, and then you can just separate the legs in the middle like that. It's just tabbed together like that, so just separate that and extend it all out so it's nice and straight like that. Do the same thing on the other leg, just extend it all out. And then there's two little tabs on the tops of the thighs, which are going to tab into these little slots that are in the fingers. They're just going to soft tab in. They don't really, they don't hold in that well. They just sort of rest in there. So you just want to do that. Just make sure it's as level as possible, like so. And then you can come to this section here and it's just on a hinge. So you want to hinge this section around, and then the heel and the toe is going to go into that little cavity there. So we can do that. And then up front, we've got a tab here on the chest, which is going to go in there. We've got a tab here, which is going to go behind this front piece, and then a tiny tab on the front, which is going to go in there. So you just want to connect all those together, make sure that they're all tabbed in, and then do the same thing on the other leg. So just bring it round, make sure that goes into that gap, and then just get it all tabbed together. If it's all lined up, you should just be able to give it a nice little squeeze like so, and it should just be all connected in. And then the final few steps, we've just got to fold this roof section down, and it's just going to tab in into the top of the arms. So just make sure that's all nice and squozen in. And then the final step is just come to this little tailgate section here and fold it down, and it's just going to tab in like so. Just give that a little push and it should click in. And there we go, that's the transformation done. So this is the alt mode. Looking fairly nice. There's some paintwork here that we couldn't see earlier, which is more of that metallic silver, and then some more of that sort of mustard yellow colour, and then metallic silver where this was basically the knees, so it's now the front of the alt mode. There's that Autobot insignia that's on the hood, and then the light blue painted windows. So this guy does match the Ironhide and the Prowl figures for the windows in that same shade of blue. That's the weapon storage, as I showed you earlier. It creates like a little turret that's on top of the vehicle. It's quite cool. Around the back, we haven't really got a lot going on. There's like a little sculpted jerry can here on the back, and then you know, the rear window, which isn't painted, and then just a little sculpted rear window wiper. The alloys have like this metallic silver paint on them as well. And as you can see, they're just pegged on. They roll fit fairly nicely. That's what it looks like from underneath, so cleans up fairly well. Again, if you want to have the head exposed, you can do that. You can just not rotate that piece when you go to transform him. Yeah, it looks actually quite nice. It's a nice little vehicle actually. Just sort of a military SUV type vehicle. It's quite cool actually. I'm just going to bring in one of the other figures that we've reviewed, just for a sort of size comparison with this guy. So here's the SS86 Prowl, which is also a deluxe class. As you can see, they do scale quite nicely together, as you'd expect for Studio Series. BRAWN is slightly wider than Prowl, but Prowl's definitely longer, as you can see. And this Prowl is obviously the battle damage version, so he's got this gnarly looking damage on the chest, bumper section. So that's what they look like together. So that's pretty much it for this one, guys. You can still get these. I've seen them on Hasbro Pulse if you're in the UK, and they're currently on there for £24.99. So yeah, it's your sort of standard deluxe price really. Nice little figure. I will drop a link in the description below if you do want to pick one up for yourself. And as stated, they are doing a 2-pack with Ratchet, so you get BRAWN and Ratchet in the same pack, and essentially it's just a slight retool of this figure with the battle damage from the attack. So yeah, it's a little bit more scene accurate. I probably won't pick it up because I've already got this guy, but it's definitely an option if you want the battle damaged version of him. Not too bad. So yeah, I'm going to round this one out here. Stay tuned to the channel because we're going to have that leader class coronation Starscream coming up. And yeah, drop me a like. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any of the uploads. And thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.